My name is Gory G. When I was a kid growing up in the 70s and 80s, I would spend most of my time, as most kids did when they were around my age, going to the video stores. And, I'd peruse up and down the aisles, but there was always one section that always drew me in. That's right, it was the horror section. Now, living on a small island here in Canada, you didn't really have a whole lot of options. But every once in a while, you'd find those hidden gems on the shelf, and, well, those are the ones that I usually kind of look for. Obviously, you'd go for the cover art and think, oh, this is a really cool film. But one really stood out for me over the years, and I always remembered seeing it for the first time. It was a big case. It's called a clamshell case. It's a lot larger than a regular VHS. And it had this hooded figure, and it said, the name of the movie, and I thought, I have to check this out. Plus, it says it's based on a true story. So I brought it home, watched it, fell in love with it, and only until recently was I able to find it on Blu-ray to be able to watch it and share it with everybody else. And that film is...
This man's identity is unknown. He was believed to be between 30 and 40 years old. He wore a white hood and was known only as the Phantom Killer. World War II had just ended. In Texarkana, Arkansas, boys had come home to their families. Husbands reunited with their wives. It was a happy, peaceful time. Until the Phantom Killer struck. Now, Charles B. Peirce brings this incredible, shocking, and true story to the screen in The Town That Dreaded Sundown.
That's right, The Town That Dreaded Sundown. It's a documentary-style movie. It was set in 1946 in Texarkana, Arkansas. The film was made in 1976, and, well, it's a small, unknown film, but it's very worthwhile finding if you can. It's even on YouTube, which you can watch on there, if you can hunt it down. It's basically a small town is held in the grip of a mysterious hooded killer who killed in less than 3 months, and the whole town was in fear for their lives. They didn't know who to turn to, they didn't know what they were going to do, and even though there was only a small amount of victims, 5, it was still one of the most terrifying moments in the history of Texarkana.
Samuel P. Fuller, age 24. Linda Mae Jenkins, age 19. Brutally attacked March 3rd, 1946. Howard W. Turner, 29. Emma Lou Cook, 17. Bodies discovered in a wooded area on March 24th. Roy Allen, 17. Peggy Loomis, 15. Both found dead April 14th in Spring Lake Park. Floyd Reed, age 34. Murdered in his home on May 3rd. Mrs. Reed shot twice, but survived.
With this film being like a docudrama, it is narrated by Vern Stierman. Now, his voice definitely elevates this film above your run-of-the-mill B film.
It was Sunday, March 3rd, 1946. The beginning of a reign of terror for the people of Texarkana and surrounding areas of Arkansas and Texas. A terror so indelibly imprinted that today, 30 years later, people still speak of it fearfully. The incredible story you are about to see is true. Where it happened and how it happened. Only the names have been changed.
The police are led by Deputy Norman Ramsey. He's played by very underrated actor Andrew Prime. Now, he's been in the Alien Invasion miniseries V, if you know that, and also the cult favorite Grizzly about the killer bear.
The only thing we really do know is that we've got a very strange person on our hands.
I heard a couple of more shots. They came from about a mile in the woods north of where I'm parked. I think the occupants of this parked vehicle have been abducted. Request to 1033.
Roger.
My God. Oh, my God.
The town, feeling confused and hopeless during all of this terror that this person has been causing in their town, turned to the Texas Rangers.
The big man himself, Captain J.D. Morales, living legend, the most famous ranger in the history of Texas. Captain Morales?
Yes, sir.
I'm Deputy Norman Ramsey.
Glad to know you, sir.
We're glad to see you, sir.
Thank you. Captain Morales. Thank you.
This is Chief Sullivan.
Captain, we're certainly glad you're here. Thank you, sir. We have a car waiting if you're ready. Let's go.
Thank God, Captain, you're here.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
Excuse me, Captain Morales. Welcome to Texarkana. Do you have a plan of investigation as of yet?
Yes, sir. I plan on catching him. Or killing him.
The actor playing J.D. Morales is actor Ben Johnson. He's been in countless westerns. He's been in Sam Peckinpah's The Wild Bunch. He was in The Getaway with Steve McQueen. And he was also in Steven Spielberg's first feature film outing, Sugarland Express, in 1974. Directed by the late, great Charles B. Peirce, who also directed the Bigfoot film, The Legend of Boggy Creek. Charles Peirce also acts in the film as Patrolman A.C. Benson.
Hold it, boy. Jesus. I meant slow down, not stop, for Christ's sakes. You just got two controls on this damn thing, wide open and stop?
Well, I figured you was in a hurry, sir.
Well, I am in a hurry. What'd you say your name was?
Patrolman A.C. Benson. Some folks call me Sparkplug.
Well, now, Sparkplug, I'd kind of like to survive this investigation.
Now, his role might be a little hard to take for some because it's fairly lighthearted and kind of takes you out of the movie, but you have to remember, in 1976, horror films were huge, and with this being based on a true story, and it was also filmed in the actual town of Texarkana, I think Peirce's idea was to kind of lighten the mood at a few times whenever it got really dark, because the residents there, I mean, you know, they'd be watching this film in the theaters, and it's kind of hard to relive some of the terrors, and some people would still have been at an age to have remembered those crimes. So, I for one think it's a great idea that they use it just to kind of lighten things up, and Peirce is really good at comedy, if you notice in here. You'll definitely get some laughs out of the movie.
Patrolman Benson speaking. Yes, Mrs. Connor, this is Sparkplug. What's your problem? Mrs. Connor, you don't have to put up with that crap. Get him on the phone. Is that you, Connor? What the hell's wrong with you, boy? You try that again, and the Supreme Court of the United States ain't gonna be able to save your ass. Okay, Mrs. Connor, now you just settle down, because he promised me.
I gotta run.
The film was written by Earl E. Smith, who also co-wrote The Legend of Boggy Creek, as well as the fourth highest grossing film in the Dirty Harry series, Sudden Impact, which he also co-wrote with Charles B. Peirce.
Go ahead. Make my day. Dirty Harry is at it again. Sudden Impact. Rated R.
Now showing. Check newspapers for a theater near you.
The cinematographer, James W. Robertson, does a brilliant job with this film. Under the guidance of Charles B. Peirce, their photography for this film is, for what the time period was, it was 76, set in 1946, and you believe that you're in 1946. For the minuscule budget that they had working with this film, I mean, it was a low-budget film after all, it stands the test of time. And that it's better than any of the higher budget films that you'll watch where you see them spend billions of dollars on a scene, where they did this in 76. The ending alone is breathtaking. It basically would rival Sam Peckinpah in some of the moments whenever you see it. And you'll know what I mean whenever you see the film, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. Now, if the killer kind of looks familiar to you, it's not your imagination. But before you start writing in the comments saying that they stole this from Jason, it's the other way around. This was 5 years before Friday the 13th Part 2, when they paid homage to the hooded killer. The killer in this film is played by stuntman Bud Davis. And he's been in countless films as well as a stunt coordinator and a stunt performer. He's also in one of my favorite films, 1986's Manhunter, which was the first film to feature Hannibal Lecter. That's right, before Anthony Hopkins. I will cover this film at one point on my channel.
Between dreams and reality lies the key to a killer's identity.
You want to know how he's choosing them, don't you?
Hunting in that dangerous place is FBI agent Will Graham.
What is it you think you're becoming?
The closer he gets to the killer, the more deadly the dreams become. Manhunter.
Well, that was my first video. Hopefully, I did okay. This is my first time doing anything with editing or filming or literally anything on this channel I've done. I learned all within less than 2 weeks. So, if you liked what you've seen and would like to see more, because I will be back, please take a moment and hit the subscribe button and maybe even hit the like button. It would definitely be appreciated. So, with that, I will say thank you, and goodbye from the crypt.